All right. Please watch this video in combination with the Weimar Republic document found on your Canvas page. And open up that document, please. And here it is in front of us on this video. And we're just going to talk through the first couple pages of the video, and then we'll go a little bit more in depth in terms of page 3. So on page 1, you've got some of the major problems in the Weimar Republic. These will be some good specific details to relate to in your DBQ paper as well. But you've got these political challenges from both the left, the communists, and the right, the fascist Nazi party. Both want to violently overthrow or undermine the democracy. Uh, the democracy has very little legitimacy as a result of signing Treaty of Versailles. And then here you'll read about economic disasters that are affecting Germany during the time of the Weimar Republic. First, the hyperinflation, and second, later on, the Great Depression, which we'll talk more about in a second. On page 2, I do want you to understand that for a short period of time, there's like a glimmer of hope for this democracy. So the Dawes Plan specifically links the German economy with the American economy, and by the mid to late 1920s, during this short period of hope here, it seems like the German economy is restabilizing itself. And here, these are just some details you can read about how the Germans are integrating back into kind of the international community. Page 3 is what I really want to focus in on in terms of the Weimar collapse. And I will ask that you pause the video and read this paragraph here. The bottom line is the Great Depression is really the breaking point uh, between the German people and liberalism, capitalist democracy. Their first kind of experience with liberalism, with democracy, was the first major thing that the Weimar Republic, the German democracy, did was sign the Treaty of Versailles. After that, they had experienced this hyperinflation, which wiped out a lot of people's savings across Germany. That was a major experience with capitalism. There was this glimmer of hope, but the Great Depression essentially represents the failure of the capitalist economic system in 1929. And it's at that point where the German people just really give up on liberalism. The democracy will stagger on for a few more years, but after 1929, the German people are ready to move on to an alternative system. Ultimately, of course, the alternative system that they will move on to will be fascism. So at this time, when the Great Depression hits, German unemployment, it says here you've got 6 million Germans unemployed. That represented about 30% of their workforce. And what you have then is Hitler has been running in elections. And as you'll read in the DBQ documents, Goebbels, who's a high ranking member in the Nazi party, said, like, we're joining the democracy to eat the democracy from the inside out. We're going to run in the elections promising to destroy the democracy. Here you've got Hitler and this campaign poster, Adolf Hitler is victory. And what Hitler's promising is to move Germany away from liberalism. He says, vote for me in this democratic election. I'm going to rid us of this curse. And a lot of German people honestly did start to view liberalism as a curse to the German people. I'm going to liberate us from this curse of liberalism, and victory will be ours. Germany will be strong again under fascism. And what Hitler's promoting here, of course, is fascism as an ideological system for the German people. And this is kind of the second half of the page here, of page 3. Hitler's leading a party called the National Socialist Party. And you can just write in your notes here, that's the Nazi party. It has socialism in the title. And every year this confuses students, but don't be confused. They're not socialists. The Nazis are a fascist party. Fascists hate socialism because fascism is a hyper-nationalistic ideology. It places utmost identity in the nation, whereas socialism focuses on social class, the working class. It's national socialism. They include socialism in the title to try to kind of trick people, to kind of try to get the working class over to their side, but focus on the nationalism aspect. These are the national socialists. They're not just calling themselves socialists, national socialists. These are hyper nationalist fascists. This is the Nazi Party. So, what Hitler's arguing for then is fascism is going to make Germany strong. It's going to bring Germany victory. Uh, he is, and this we'll get into more later on, but he is also arguing that Germans are a distinct race of people, are a inherently superior race of people, and if they band together in the tight unity that fascism promotes, everybody fusing themselves, giving themselves over to this common will, this common purpose, um, ridding themselves of the individualism of liberalism, which fascists believe creates weakness in the human society, and everybody becomes a total unity, then Germany will be a great power yet again. And speaking to this breaking point in 1929, the Great Depression, as the tipping point away from towards the demise of the democracy and towards the rise of fascism. These are the various elections that took place in the 1920s and 1930s in Germany. And this is the percentage of the vote that the Nazi Party is getting over time. And the breaking point is 1929. Now, it is horrifying that the Nazi Party would even be getting this level of support, 6.5% of the vote, 3%, 2.6%. But look at the change that takes place. The difference between May 1928 and September 1930 is the Great Depression has hit here. The Germans are giving up on liberalism and they're voting for Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party in growing numbers with the promise that the democracy will be destroyed. This is the idea. I'm going to go to the polls to vote for the Nazi Party because they're going to rid me of democracy. They're going to get rid of liberalism and impose a total, unified fascist regime over Germany that's going to bring Germany victory and strength. Thanks.